Hello. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for giving me a few minutes of your time. I appreciate it. Today I want to cover a really important article from Inman News. And I know I've been covering a lot of Inman News articles lately, but they've been putting out great stuff. So good for them. But today's article is important because it's titled. It's about the upcoming, as in tomorrow, changes to the TCPA. That's the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. And these changes are effective actually January 27th, so in a couple days, so soon. And the title of the article is What You Need to Know About the Cold Call Rule Changing This Month by Darryl Davis. And here's the thing. Quite a bit is changing with the TCPA starting in a couple days. And what it's going to require essentially is a higher level of consent for us to contact potential clients, and past clients for that matter, especially if we're using technology to contact them. So let me go through some of the things and I'll show you the article. So the key takeaway, really, the number one takeaway is that the one-to-one consent rule, which essentially means that somebody has to specifically consent to you calling them to be able to call them. That's versus somebody calling them, right? It used to be if you showed general interest, that was consent enough. But now they have to say, no, I want Ron to call them. And so what that means, if I'm buying leads from a lead generator, that lead generator has to get the consumer's approval for me to call them, not for someone to call them. The next key takeaway is the easy consent revocation. It used to be that, people that would cold call or use technology to call, they could always claim innocence, like, hey, we didn't know that they didn't want us to call them. How do we know? They sent an email to some unknown email and we never got it, so we're not liable. But under the easy consent, really, the consumer can send an opt-out almost any way they want, and you're responsible to see it. So if they're sending smoke signals to say, hey, I opt out, you're going to be liable to opt them out. So it's not, they can do so in any form, and you have to honor it within 10 business days. So there's none of that, oh, it wasn't my fault kind of thing. And there's much tighter lead generation rules where purchase leads must explicitly consent to communications from your business specifically. Generic interest will not cut it. So that's a big change. And here's the thing, they're really just trying to clamp down on automated dialers and pre-recorded messages. Now, so people have to give their written consent to receive automated calls or pre-recorded messages. That's right. The prior consent. You can no longer just blanket, folks. And then there's much stricter rules for adherence to the do not call list. Violations for each one are fines to $500 to $1,500 per call. All right, so that's the deal. The author goes in there and she speaks specifically for some real estate scenarios like FSBOs, expired listings, or neighborhood cold calling. Essentially what she says, if you manually dial, you're going to be okay. If you're manually making the phone calls, you're going to be fine as long as you're not calling somebody on the do not call list. And then even if you do call somebody on the do not call list, you can talk to them, you just can't solicit them. Simple as that. So you can get information from them, but you can't solicit them. So just know, all sorts of things are changing with the TCPA. I strongly suggest you check this article out. I'll put a link to it in my notes below. But the key thing is, don't let this stop you from prospecting. Just do it the right way. I would say follow the 3 C's. Be cautious, conservative, and compliant. But keep prospecting. There's lots of opportunity. There's lots of people who need our help. Let's find them. Let's not let this slow us down, but let's not cut corners. There's too much risk in this. As always, I'll let you know I did a very detailed social LinkedIn post on this today. Very detailed. In case you can't access the Inman article, check out my LinkedIn review. It does a thorough review of this article. I also put links to it, not only down below, but on my LinkedIn. With that, be sure to pay attention to this. If you're making a lot of outbound phone calls, which you should, be sure to pay attention to this. Check with your compliance department, see what guidance they're giving you. Make sure you stay in between the bumper posts with this. I hope this helped. I hope you're having a great day. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you.